The after-action report found that a power outage at the water treatment plant was something that the city should have been prepared to handle, but the investigation found that DPU did little to prepare for a power outage. On January 3rd, Governor Glenn Youngkin declared a state of emergency in advance of an approaching winter storm. 2 days later, new Richmond Mayor Danny Avula followed suit. And yet, according to this draft of an after-action assessment report, multiple staff members at Richmond's Department of Public Utilities told investigators there was no discussion of storm preparation from leadership at the water treatment plant. That's despite the plant already being put at risk by operating with one power feed off for the winter, meaning that if one power feed went down, a piece of equipment called the switchgear would have to function properly and transfer power to the other feed, or power would go out. On January 6th, that transfer switch failed. And according to the report, none of the staff there at the time of the outage knew how to operate the backup generators. They also didn't know how to manually transfer power to the second feed. HNTB, the third-party company hired by the city to investigate the events of the water crisis, said it remains unclear if a plant electrician who arrived 15 minutes after the power went out was ever trained on how to transfer power, since it wasn't until an electrical supervisor arrived that power was restored an hour and 20 minutes after power was lost. HNTB told the city that if directions on how to manually transfer power to the second feed had been attached to the cabinet housing the transfer switch and an electrical staff member had been on site when the outage occurred, critical flooding that damaged essential equipment may have been avoided. DPU staff told HNTB that flooding was a common occurrence at the water treatment plant, and there was even a past flood that caused water production to pause for 6 hours. Multiple DPU staff members present during the event and in response to it said that there was a lack of leadership and little direction on a course of action. I asked the mayor and new DPU head how they held plant leadership accountable for the issues noted in the report.
I'm not going to speak to personal matters for those individuals, but I can firmly tell you that going forward, the expectation is that you're going to get the proper training, and then you're going to do the procedures that are needed, and we're holding people accountable, making sure that they do the right thing, and appropriate actions will be taken in the event that somebody doesn't.
The city said that it is implementing recommendations from the report, including improving backup power systems, improving training, as well as standard operating procedures. In Richmond, I'm Melissa Hippolyte for CBS 6.